Good morning, students. In this lecture, we are going to study and I am going to start your Unit 2, which is related to framework for presentation and preparation of financial statement, which carries 25 marks. In the last unit, we have studied different financial statements, including profit and loss, balance sheets, then trading account, and also we have learned about various principles and conventions of accounting, then meaning of accounting, features of accounting. And in this unit 2, we are going to study the framework for preparation and presentation of financial statement, and it carries 25 marks. So there are mainly five financial statements. First one is statement of financial position. Then second one is called income statement. Then statement of change in equity, statement of cash flows, and disclosure notes. So these are the five financial statements. The former four, means first four, shows the relevant financial data to the business, but the last one mostly include the non-financial data. It means statement of financial position, income statement, statement of change in equity will show you the relevant financial information about the business, and a statement of cash flows and disclosure notes will show you the non-financial data. Basically, these information assist the user of the financial statement to understand the number of depicted financial data. So the main purpose of financial statement is to educate the shareholders about the financial status and financial performance of their company. Basically, the financial statement is prepared for all the parties, what we have already seen in Unit 1, internal parties and external parties. Because the shareholders are the real owners of the company, but the company is governed and administered by directors. So as directors act as a stewards of the shareholders. It is their duty to prepare the financial statements that are free from material misstatement, as well as also possess some qualitative characteristics which is important to enhance the quality and relevance. So always the financial statement must show the true and fair view of the business. It should not show the material misstatements or window dressing. It should be always show the true and fair view of the accounting information. So there are various characteristics of financial statement. As we can see here in this graph, these are called qualitative characteristics of financial statement, or the fundamental characteristics of financial statement. There are two main characteristics. First is relevance and second one is faithful representation. Relevance means the required information and faithful presentation means true and fair view. So basically these are the two fundamental characteristics of financial statement. And if we extend these two fundamental characteristics, we will get enhancing characteristics over and above fundamental characteristics. So the first one is verifiability. So verifiable, then timeliness, then understandability and comparability. These are the four major enhancing characteristics of financial statement. Moving further, the first one, understandability. What is understandability? Basically, the financial statements are published to address the shareholders of the company. Basically, the shareholders are the real owners. They are going to invest in your company. So this is the party which will always try to see your financial position. And basically, the main motto of the financial statement is to address the shareholders. So it is important that this statement must be prepared in such a way that it is easy to understand. That's why it is called understandability and interpret for the shareholders. The information provided in this statement must be clear and legible and concise. Each and every party related to your business must understand your financial statement. You should not hide anything from the parties which are directly related to your business. For the sake of understandability, the management must consider not only the statutory data and information but also the voluntary information disclosure. Now, what is voluntary information disclosure? It is nothing but the information related to your expansion, then diversification of your products, etc. etc. So, which will make a financial statements easier to understand. And the director must elaborate the information provided in the statement wherever necessary. So if some information is very difficult to understand, that time the director must simplify that information wherever required. The second one is relevance. The second point is relevance. So the information provided in the financial statement must be relevant to the needs of its users. What we have seen in the last unit, the users of accounting information. So it should be relevant to them. Although the main statutory recipients of these statements are the shareholders, as we have discussed in the last point. But there are many other stakeholders. They rely upon these statements during their decision-making process. Now, who are these other stakeholders? First is fund providing institution. Fund providing institution, like for example, if you have taken loan to bank, insurance companies, asset funding funds. So these are the parties which required your financial information. So this is the one stakeholder. Next one is potential investors. Who are the potential investors? Those who want to invest in your business but they are confused. For them, these information will be relevant. So these are the second stakeholders. Next one is suppliers. Those who are going to supply the raw material. While supplying the raw material, the business, maximum times the business will be on credit basis. So for assessment bureau credit risk, they are going to study your financial statement. So the information provided in this financial statement must be relevant information needs must. So it must be relevant to all the stakeholders. And basically this information must help them to take some economic decisions. Next one is reliability. The third point is reliability. The information provided in the financial statement must be reliable and true. So this is also called as true and fair view. So whatever you are presenting in your financial statement must be reliable, must be trustable. So the information extracted to prepare this financial statement must be in the form of reliable and trustable source or trustworthy source. It should be taken from a trustworthy source. The financial statement must depict the true and fair pictures of the status of company affairs. Basically, the financial statement is prepared for 1 year, for accounting year, and it must depict the true and fair view or fair picture of your company's affairs. So basically, this means that the information provided must not have any significant errors or material misstatements. So the false information must not be given in the financial statements. So there should be no significant errors or material misstatements. The transaction shown must be based on the concept of prudence and must be represent the true nature of the company and transaction on operation. What is concept of prudence? It is nothing but whenever that event has happened, you need to record it as soon as possible. So it should represent the true nature of the company's transaction. The areas that are judgmental and subjective in nature must be presented with a due care and keen competence. Means wherever there is a chance of misstatement, wherever there is a chance of error, the company has to take a maximum care to present that information. Next one is comparability. Now what is comparability? The financial statement must be prepared in such a way that they are comparable with last year or prior year of financial statement. This characteristics of financial statements is very important because each and every stakeholders is required to know your performance, how you have performed last year and how you are growing in this year. So basically to know the performance of the company, this comparability must be included and which will be helped to monitor and compare with the last year. So these characteristics is maintained by adopting accounting policies and various standards what we have learned in the last unit, various accounting standards that are applied and consistent from period to period. Basically, you need to follow each and every year the same policy, accounting policies and principles between different jurisdiction in different years. This enables the users of the financial statement to identify and plot the trends and patterns in the data provided, which makes their decision easier. Basically, the comparability helps the stakeholders or various shareholders or potential investors to know your company in a better way. Because here we can compare the two timelines or two different years with each other and we can know that company's performance. Moving forward, timeliness. Now all the information in the financial statement must be provided within a relevant span of time. If you are preparing your financial statement for 1 year, there should be consistency in that period. Every year you must provide your financial statement on a yearly basis. So timeliness, relevant span of time. The disclosure must not be excessively late or delayed so that while making their economic decisions, the users of these statements possess all the relevant and up-to-date knowledge. So although these characteristics take more resources, but still it's a vital characteristics as delayed information makes any corrective relevant irrelevant. So basically if you are not following the time or span of time, that time those investors which want to invest in your company, they will hesitate to invest. So that's why timeliness characteristics of your financial statement is very, very important. The next one is elements of financial statements. Elements of financial statements. So we have seen till now the characteristics of financial statement. Now we are going to see what are the elements of financial statement. Now the first element, the financial accounting generates different types of statements in reports, and communicates with them to the external and internal users so that they can assess the overall performance of the business in the financial terms. So these reports are considered as the overall performance of the business in financial terms. And these reports are known as what? Financial statements. So basically, every year the company's financial statements are prepared to know the overall performance of the business. Basically, what we are going to include in these financial statements are cash inflows and outflows and the results of operation. Basically, the current net income or net loss. Okay, so the first or many companies basically publish these statements in the form of annual report, as I have discussed earlier. Every year they prepare some financial statements. So basically in this preparation of financial statements graph we can see here, so basically the accountants are going to prepare the financial statements, okay, and these statements will presented to the external users only in the form of annual report. Okay, so basically this is the chart will show you how the information is prepared. Accountants are going to prepare financial statements which is going to presented to external users but in the form of what? Annual report. Okay, so basically which are the types of financial statements? First, as we know, the income statement we call as profit and loss account. Then balance sheet we can also known as the statement of position. Statement of cash inflow, statement of cash inflows or cash flow statement, statement of change in owner's equity, and the notes to financial statement. These are the five major types of financial statement what we prepare. So basically out of this five, income statement and balance sheet are the most significant statements. Okay, so profit and loss and balance sheet are considered as the main significant statements. Okay, now what is income statement? The income statement highlights the summary of revenues earned and expenses earned. That's it. Over a certain period of time. So basically, the end result of this income statement will be either net profit or net loss. Okay, so basically the decision makers can assess the performance of the business operation. Basically the income statement is going to take all the incomes or expenses which has incurred in 1 year, in the last 1 year. And at the end of it, the result of this financial statement or the balance will show either net profit or net loss. Next one is balance sheet. Balance sheet is also called as statement of position. Statement of position. So the balance sheet gives a snapshot of all assets and liabilities, basically at the end of the accounting period. So it is also a noting but a summary of financial position of the business at a certain date. So at the end of the day, you are going to understand how many assets you have as well as the liabilities. So this is why the balance sheet is commonly known as statement of financial positions, because assets and liabilities are very important part of any business. The third one is the statement of cash flows. Statement of cash flows, or we can call it as cash flow statement. What you have already learned in your 12th standard cash flow statement or 11th standard cash flow statement. So basically the statement of cash flows is such statement which reports cash receipt and cash payment and the net change in cash resulting from operating, investing and financing activities. Operating activities mean day-to-day expenses. Investing means investing in assets. Okay, and financing means related to your equity and preferences or debentures. So basically these three is a major part of cash flow statement. And this cash flow statement is considered as an important document of the financial statement. Next one is statement of change in owner's equity. The statement of change in owner's equity reports the change in each stockholder's equity account and the total stockholders' equity during the year. So basically this is related to equity shareholders, basically related to shareholders, owners' equity. So at the end of the year, by looking at this statement, we are going to understand how many shares has been issued to each shareholder and what are the names of the shareholders. So statement of change in owner's equity. The next one is notes to financial statements. Basically, notes of the financial statements are the integral part of financial statement. Basically, it is a proof or an explanation of each point what you have taken in balance sheet and profit and loss statement. This usually includes the accounting policies pursued by the company and explanatory notes as to accounting figures put on the face of financial statement. So it's just a proof of what you have written in your financial statements. Okay. So basically, if we know the various elements of financial statements, this graph is going to understand, or we're going to understand various elements of financial statements. Now, if you see this part, these are also the elements of financial statements, but they have given a different types of elements based on different statements. So elements of financial statements, and they have shown you what are the statements or types of statements. Understood? In the next part, we are going to study what are the actual elements which are included in financial statements. So financial statement portrays the financial effects of transactions and other events by grouping them into broad classes according to the economic characteristics. So these broad classes are termed as elements of financial statement. So basically FASB has classified the elements of financial statement as under. Here we can see some sort of basic elements, and the next one is other elements. Okay, so the elements of financial statements are divided into two parts: basic elements and other elements. Okay, so the first part of basic elements describe the amount of resources and claims of the resources on a point of time. Basically, this includes the assets, liabilities, then owner's equity. Okay, only three things: asset, liabilities and owner's equity. What are assets? Assets are nothing but economic resources owned by the business that are expected to the benefit future operations. The asset is nothing but from which we generate some sort of revenue. For example, equipment, land, property, account receivables are considered as the asset. Next one is liabilities. Liabilities are nothing but it's a present obligation of the business to pay cash or transfer asset or to provide services to other entities in the future. So, in other words, liabilities are the outsider creditors' claims on economic resources. Basically, whatever you are doing in your business, at the end of the day, you are going to pay to someone because you have liabilities. It's an obligation to pay some sort of cash to those parties, to creditors, to shareholders. So these are considered as a liabilities. The third part is owner's equity. Owner's equity represents the claims by the owners of a business on the assets on the entity. This is what the residual interest claim in the asset. Basically, remember the difference between the assets and liabilities is considered as the owner's equity. The difference between assets and liabilities are considered as the owner's equity. The next one is others element or other elements. The first one is investment by owners. This is considered as the other element. So basically, investment by owners is going to increase the economic resources by the capital invested by the owner. Next one is distribution to owner or owners. So basically, if we distribute some sort of amount or cash to the owners, then that time the economic resources will get decreased. Your liabilities will get decreased. Okay. Then revenues. What are revenues? Revenues are increase in the stockholders' equity that results from operating in a business. Revenue is nothing but it's a gain from the business. Okay. Then what are the expenses? Expenses are decrease in stockholders' equity from resulting from operating business. Operating business means day-to-day activities. Whenever revenue exceeds the expenses, we call it as net income. Whenever expenses exceeds the revenue, we call it as net income loss or net loss. Okay. Next one is gains. What are gains? Increase in owner's equity from incidental transaction of an entity during the period except revenue or investment by the owners. And what is losses? Loss is nothing but decrease in owner's equity of incidental transaction of an entity during a period except expenses or distribution to owners. So what are gains? Except revenue or investment by owners, if you have any income, that is called gains. And what is losses? Except expenses or distribution to the owner, will call as losses. Okay. Then next one and the last one is comprehensive income. Now what is comprehensive income? Changes in owner's equity during the period from non-owner sources, that is called revenue, gains, expenses and losses. That is, it does not include the investment by owners and distribution to owners are called as comprehensive income. For simple formula, you can understand comprehensive income is nothing but revenue plus gains minus expenses minus losses are nothing but comprehensive income, which will be called as change in owner's equity or owner's equity. So this is your unit 2. This is your unit 2. So basically I have already shared the notes in Google Classroom and you are going to study those notes. Okay, and if you have any doubt, type in the comment section. So thank you so much for joining today's class.